Mabuhay, happy people! It's Saturday again. Psych! It's Sunday. We changed up a little bit because yesterday was Mom's birthday and we had a fun day at Mom's house. Happy birthday! So today is Sunday. We're heading down to the farm and I got a confession to make. I think I broke the tractor. Last time we were down there, we were running around and the tractor just wouldn't move. So then I pulled up the hood thing and the wife noticed that it was spewing oil all over the place. So I'm like, uh-oh. So I don't know what happened. I gotta go down and look at it. We're gonna have a look at it today, see what's going on. I'm gonna do an oil change and see if maybe I just knocked a hose off somewhere or the oil cap came loose or whatever. I'm hoping it's just something stupid simple like that. Otherwise, I gotta try and get it to a warranty shop to get it looked at. But otherwise, yeah, so that's the plan for the day. We can go down there and check the tractor out, see if we can get it going again, and just check out the farm. We ain't been down there in a couple weeks, so we just want to look at everything, see how everything's doing, check the weed situation, and see how things are going. I can't see out my side window. Okay, safe to go. Alright, so we'll see you when we get down there. Laters. Well, folks, we've made it down here to the farm. I've pulled the tractor out and started to take a look at it. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what we're dealing with. So we took the cover off, which simply flips forward, and there's two brackets that sit inside these slots here on either side. So it kind of just lifts out of there. And I had to disconnect one connector there for the headlights, and the whole cover comes off. Then there's two little side covers right here with these two little plastic clips on either side. Those cover up this section right here on either side. So it looks like most of the leakage has been on this side of the mower. I've kind of wiped up the best I can. It looks like there's possibly some leakage right here, or when I had this running last time, this cap had worked its way loose and was just sitting in here. So maybe it was bubbling up out of here and going down, which it looks like that might have been it, because this is all sopping wet with oil. So it might have just been bubbling out of the top here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the oil on it. It's got 16 hours on it now. After doing some digging, I read that you should change your oil within the first 10 to 15 hours. So I'm gonna do an oil change, and but before I do that, I'm gonna turn the mower on, let it get warmed up, and see if I can see oil spilling out anywhere. Kind of try and get an idea where it's coming out of. So I'm gonna wipe everything down a little bit to clean it up, and then we'll get the tractor fired up and see what we got going on. So yeah, it spilled out all over here and everything. It made a huge mess. But let me get this thing wiped down some more, and we'll get it fired up and see what's going on. Alright, so I cleaned up this side the best I could. Now let's fire this thing up and see what we got. I'm not seeing any obvious signs of oil spewing out anywhere. So I'm thinking it was probably coming out of the top here when that was open. So we're gonna go ahead and give it an oil change, and then put a new filter on and fill her up with oil, and we'll go mow the orchard and check in on it every once in a while. All right, so to change the oil, we have a hose. I gotta go get everything out the car, but there's a hose that you attach to this little port right here, and you point that down into your container, your oil pan or whatever, so it avoids oil leaking all over the place here. And then you use a little wrench and you crack this open, this valve, and then the oil will come out. And then you can change the filter and then obviously fill oil back in right here. So let's go get the stuff out the car and we'll get set up and we'll start changing the oil. Meanwhile, I'm gonna see if I can find something heavy to put in the seat and let this thing run and get warmed up. Okay, so we got all set up. I got the hose attached to the drain port. It's going down into an empty oil container sitting on top of a cardboard box. I have my 10mm wrench to open up the port here. So let's go ahead and open that up. I don't see any oil starting to spew, probably because there isn't any left in here. Goodness. Looks like she drained all her oil out. Let's open this up, let some air in. Yeah, that plug will come all the way out. So that should be open enough to let oil drain out. Alright. Alright, so we've assumed that there's no oil left in this thing since nothing else was coming out. Took the old oil filter off, installed a new oil filter, and now we're going to fill it up with oil and we'll check the dipstick. It says it takes 2 quarts, so we're going to put 2 quarts in. We'll check the dipstick and see where we're at and go from there. Okay, so we've filled her back up with oil, we've checked the dipstick, we cleaned up our mess and put the tools away. So now we're just going to run the tractor around the property for a bit and keep an eye on it and see what's going on. So what tipped me off the last time we were here that something was wrong is we were hauling the dump cart around with compost to put on all the trees, and the tractor felt like it was losing power, like it couldn't pull the cart. And I was like, well, that don't make sense, because it just pulled the cart all the way into the back of the property and now it's having problems pulling it around. So we figured something was wrong. That's when we pulled the cover open to see all the oil everywhere. So I think what happened is it lost all its oil, and because it had no oil pressure, it had no power. So that's going to be my story, and until I figure something out otherwise, that's what I'm sticking to. So let's go run this thing around and see if changing the oil and filling it back up made a difference. seems to have all its power back. So we just ran all the way to the front of the property and drove around the driveway and came back through the bumpy bits and ran a couple circles around the outside of the orchard. And no signs of any oil spewing out anywhere. So I think it's gonna be safe to say that a stick or something must have come up in here while I was cutting the thick weeds out there. Might have bumped this and knocked it loose and came off, and that's where all the oil spewed out of. And just running it around everywhere, the oil just spewed completely out. So I think we're back in business. Let's put it back together. So while I'm putting it back together, I noticed I got to put this side cover on here. It'd be kind of hard for a stick or something to come up in here and knock that thing loose. So I'm thinking it may have just vibrated itself loose. So in the future, I'm just gonna have to check on it every time I go to drive the tractor around. I'll just check and make sure that thing's on there tight, because don't want this happening again. All right, let me finish putting it back together. And that's that. She's all back together. I'm gonna go run around and try and mow a little bit. We got some grass growing tall up out here again. So I'm just gonna try and knock it all down. But we'll give you an update on how the farm's doing after we run around. Well, I just spent the better part of an hour mowing around the orchard here, even mowing outside a bunch and around the outside of the orchard and everything. Power's all there. There's no oil spewing anywhere anymore. So I think we're good to go. So I think just that oil cap having vibrated its way loose and spewing its oil all over the place is what caused me to lose power to begin with. Because power is all back and it runs like a champ. All right, I'm gonna go walk around the orchard and take a look, see how the trees are. All right, folks, let's go for a walk. How y'all doing today? All right, here's the blueberry lines. They're looking kind of scraggly, but they should come back in the springtime. It's a Barbados cherry growing nicely. Our coconuts seem to be nice. They're doing swell. These are all the ones that we just planted. That's one that we planted a while ago. And there's our big coconut, looking good. All the little cotton candy trees next to these flags, they're not growing very fast. I think they're slow growers for now. Maybe once they establish themselves, they'll blow up. But they're staying small. It's lemon drop mangosteen. Here's another one. Here's our citrus line. There's a lime tree. Probably another lime. Lemon. Here's our lemon tree over here. It's got some big old lemons on here. I think we're gonna take those off today. And then some more citrus. This little calamondino over here is spitting out all kinds of fruits. Look at that. There's another citrus. We have all of our dragon fruits over here. Yeah. Sea grape. These are camito. The gooseberry. That's the mulberry. This is our wax apple. Wow, that's gotten big. This is a Granny Smith apple, looking nice. Another Granny Smith apple, looking a little scraggly. Jackfruit. The Big Nye. More jackfruit trees. Whole line of them. Wife wants lots of jackfruit. So some of them are getting nice and tall. About ready to cut the tops off so they branch out more. That one's kind of small. Yellow leaves. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, this Chico. Look, it's got a fruit on it. Check that out. Our Jamaican cherries. Looking really nice. There's one there, one there. This is our star apple, or the star fruit. Looks like it's lost a lot of leaves. Looks like she cut it back recently. Wasn't doing too happy. It's covered in flowers right now. Interesting. Here's another Caimito. I'm not sure what that is. This is a Santol that we planted. This is a white guava. Another white guava. We got 3 pink guava. They're growing pretty quick. We'd put the flags down there so we could see them because they were tiny. Now they're big. This is a pomegranate and another pomegranate surrounded by a bunch of cranberry crepe myrtles, or not crepe myrtles, hibiscuses. And here go all the mango trees. We got a line of mangoes down this way and a line of mangoes down this way. So looks like the mangoes are all happy, flushing new leaves. Maybe we'll get some fruits next year. I doubt it, but never know. It's another Santol tree. And more mangoes. Flushing leaves. Getting bigger. These are our grafted fruit cocktail mangoes. Looks like they're getting some new leaves on them as well. So that's good. There's another one down here. It's your tiny little one. So hopefully they'll start growing up. And last but not least row, we have all our bananas back here. In the back of the orchard. So they seem to be growing nicely. We have a couple of Ciruela Spanish hog plum trees growing up. In the corner we have a tamarind. She's looking nice and happy. And then if we cut across the property diagonally to the other side, look at that mango. Pink guava. Some jackfruit again. Granny Smith apple. I'm excited about that one. I love Granny Smith. That's the lemon drop mangosteen. We have a bunch of small sweet sop trees up this way. They're getting bigger. And then we got our big sweet sop tree back here. Still got some fruits on it. Look at that. They're getting bigger. Still small, but they're getting there. There's another one down here. Some more over here. Wow. And our soursop is looking nice. Bing cherries. The only tree that looks like it's dead. We'll have to cut it back and see if it comes back any. If not, we'll plant something different there. Sandhill cherry. That one's looking good. Another Barbados cherry. Lots of fresh new leaves on it. Here's our little olive tree. Looking nice and cute. Growing nicely. I forget what this guy is here, but it's growing. Lots of new leaves coming. This is our Florida peach. Has lots of flowers. Maybe we'll get some fruits. This is another peach tree. When I bought it, it was said to be a peach cocktail, meaning it had like 5 different peaches growing on it, but it hasn't grown much in the 5 years that I've had it, so don't know what's going on there. Here is our big avocado tree. Looks like something's eating the leaves. Interesting. Here's our curry, our dwarf avocado. There's the allspice that we planted. My fig tree, sprawling out and getting big. Lots of fruits. This is tea tree. This is our miracle berry tree. These are some herbal trees in the back. And here's our shed with the water system in it. So that's all working good. Some aloe veras in the front here. Bunch of different aloe veras. I'm back at the blueberries. That's pretty much it, folks. We do have some pineapples in pots over here that we need to get in the ground eventually. But I'm figuring we might put them in the ground in the spring. So they'll stay like that for now. But yeah, that's it. Deuces.